This video is going to show how to display customer messages for the Setpoint changelog. Some of the text files that have been generated so far are text files for the APU card. Here's one in slot 1, in slot 2, the temperature card in slot 2, the APU card in slot 3, and this is the old style Pearson card. Let's open the APU card in slot 1. But it's a text file, but we will open it with the Microsoft Excel. You can see with the open file here, we have, let me open these up a little bit. We have a mod file description and a customer description. With the customer description, that is the column you're going to use, column E, to put your own descriptions in there for a particular set point or a change set point. There are a couple of ways to find this set point out. If we go down, some of these are evident by the mod file description, and you'd be able to figure out what it is. There's another way to specifically find out what mod file address you have. You can find the ID on the MACO screen, also on the MACO compact screen, by entering security code 4, which I've already done. Go to the display configuration screen, turn off the enable limit display, turn on the enable ID display. Now let's go back to the main menu, look at head 1 set point. Let's look at the first, well, let's look at the 5th set point in there, head 1 set points. And if we look below here, that 1804 is base 16 ID that we'll be able to find in the Excel spreadsheet. So that is for profile point number 5 on head 1 set points. So now we can go back to our spreadsheet. Now we can look on our spreadsheet and do a find. We'll do an 1804, and this is going to have to show up in column C, which is a base 16 number that we just found on our compact display. So find next. Now that's in column B. You'll see that's in column B. We want it in column C. So find next. That's also in column B. There's column C, so our base 16. And now you can see, let me close this. You can see this is the mod file description in column D, and in column E you have the customer description. So we'll change this to head A profile point 5. Now what I'm going to do is going to put the other ones, oops, let me spell this properly. Profile point 5. Now what I'm going to do is copy that so I can put the other ones in for 1 through 4. Let's do these. And this is customer descriptions in column E. So let's go to the first one, and we'll do a 1, then point number 2, point number 3, point number 4. So now you can see profile 1 through 4 are going to show up as a customer description on the Setpoint changelog. Next to it here, you can decipher quite a bit of the information without going to the MACO by the mod file description here. You see the profile point size 1 through, so you can pretty much determine what it is from the mod file. I just went to the display to show you how you can do it from the display. Now we're going to save this, save as, and we want to save this as a text file. Let's make a new folder here. Text, or I could have said Pearson or something on that order, but I'm going to make it just a text file. And there, save that in there as a text, and say yes here. We want to keep it as a text, and close that, and no. So now that's what we have. The Setpoint change log screen has to be updated for your system for it to work. You need a new bar graph in here and a sprite arrow. This set of screens will be emailed. Sometimes I found that I need to delete the error or the bar graph and install it by itself without copying the screens. But it's a process value. Here's the value. It's HMI 1.03 set point change customer description ID. And the sprite that needs to be added into your set of screens is in this set of screens it's number 20, but it's an arrow. If we look at the arrow, there's that arrow, and that arrow is in the bar graph here. Then you'll also notice down on the bottom of the screen you have an increment and decrement, which will go with this arrow on the side here. So that's what the screen needs to be updated. Your set point change log screen needs to be updated for your system for it to run. So then that'll be loaded. And then next we'll go look at the actual compact screens. We'll install the changes we just made and look at how it looks when they're in there. I put my new text file onto a memory stick. So now I'm just going to manually load it into my system here. Let me go to display. I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to close this out. Close that. And now if we go look at my memory stick, which is called the hard disk, there, if we look at the view, details, this is what we just created today. So copy that, rack 1, slot 1 APU. And this will go into the application, MCS files, run, application, user screen. I'm going to paste that in there, overwrite the one that was in there from September. Now I have a new text file. Now what happened when you power up, it'll create a new descriptions if I delete this or if I had put in a new set of screens, but I didn't put a new set of screens in. So let me just delete that, the description file, because it's going to make a new description file if it doesn't see one there when I start the application again, or power up, either way. So let's go in there and start the application again, and you'll watch the application start here. I know I don't want to update the system. I still had the memory stick in there, so it asked me that question. See, now it's showing building user defined description file. Now that'll be built one of two ways. If you put a new set of screens in, it'll build the new description file, or if you delete the description file that I just did in there, it'll build a new description file upon power up or starting the application. Now I have a new description file loaded in. My screens have come up. Now let's go, remember we changed 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, the descriptions on there. So let's go in here and change the set point here. We'll make 1, 1. We'll make 2, 2, 3, 3, 4 is 4, and 5 is 5. Now we can get out of here. Now let's go look at our set point change log. Now you'll see when it comes up here, here's our arrow. It's showing January 3rd, 2012 at 17:34. I haven't updated my time here, but it shows that I've changed my set point from 13.42% to 5. That was the last one I changed. So if I look down here, that's profile point, head A, profile point number 5. And on the lower left-hand side, it will show the description of whatever you put in there. So if we go down to the next one, show point 4, point 3, point 2, point 1. So it's as simple as that. You can put whatever you put in there as a descriptor in that text file and load it into your system after you update your set point change log page. That's what's going to show on here. So you could scroll through it and look at them. We'll go up here and they give you the date and the time and the security level and what it was changed from to.